Spring market's here in full bloom, and we've got the multiple offer strategies to help your buyers win. Let's talk escalation clauses. They're great when used right. It really can help your buyer save some money while also making sure that you're beating the next highest competing offer. Make sure that if you are using escalation clauses, the gap that you're choosing to go over the next highest offer is big enough depending on the price point of the home. And make sure that you're asking for supporting documentation to say, hey, we've got to see that other next competing offer so we know how far to go over. Next, early signing bonuses. Ever thought about that? So instead of sunset clauses, which I always feel puts a lot of pressure on the seller and makes them feel like you're forcing them to make a decision in multiple offers, I actually prefer a signing bonus, in which case you say, hey, if you sign our offer before, let's say 6 p.m. tonight, we'll increase our offer by X dollars. It's a great way to incentivize the seller to quickly make a decision to move forward with your buyer without making them feel like you're pressuring them. Let's talk inspection guarantees. We all know a waived inspection is probably what most sellers would prefer. It's easy for them, right? But we're going to talk about what's going to be best for your buyers. So instead of doing a waived inspection, consider doing some type of inspection guarantee. Either a pass-fail, which just lets the seller know that your buyer is not going to nitpick at the little things, or you could always do a dollar amount, which says, hey, my buyer won't ask for any seller concessions or repairs of under a certain dollar amount. So that way, the sellers rest assured that it should be a fairly simple and straightforward inspection period. Let's talk financing contingencies. If you're not writing in a financing contingency with some type of written statement and multiple offers, you're not doing your buyer any favors here. Help your buyers understand how a written statement from a lender can really help to strengthen their offer. And while you're at it, when you submit that offer, copy in your lender, talk up your lender, let the seller's agent know what type of relationship you have with the lender, that you've used them many times, that they never are late on closing if that's the case. And also, whatever your buyer allows you to share about their financial situation, share any details that can help build a stronger case for your buyer that they're a strong, qualified individual and we're not going to have financing issues. But make sure you write in those written statement dates because they do really help the sellers understand that you guys have strong financing. There's so many tips and tricks that we could give you, but one of my other favorites is possession date. Understand what the timeline of the sellers are. Are they moving into a new home? Would it be helpful to them to have an extra day in the home after closing so they don't have to do that simultaneous close on the same day? What could make the transition easier for the seller? Because there's a ton of value to that, and we want to make sure that you're not missing that if it helps put your buyers ahead of the game. So talk to that listing agent, understand what their transition period needs to or should look like, and be creative about possession date. Doesn't always have to be immediately after close. You could always do 24 hours after closing depending on the situation, and even rent back agreements can be a very powerful tool if the sellers still need to find a home of their choice. That's what I have for you guys today. If you guys have any questions, follow us here for more tips and subscribe to This Easy so you continue to see the content that we put out.